Hello, learners. Welcome back to a new lesson of Science Standard 7, Chapter 10, Respiration in Organisms. Your other teacher had already done the revision of one or two lessons. I hope you had gone through that. So today we will start with new chapter in your book, that is Chapter 10, Respiration in Organisms. So before starting the chapter, I want to ask you, what is respiration? What do you know about the word respiration? When you will play, when you will jump, or when you will run, your breathing will be more and more. And after running or after playing, if you will take rest, you can see slowly and slowly your breathing will come down. So why it happens? So from this we can answer that why we breathe and what is breathe and why we are breathing. So here one child, one day he was running, that is Bujio was eagerly waiting for meeting his grandparents who were coming after 1 year. So he was in a real hurry as he wanted to receive them at the bus stop. So he ran fast and reached the bus stop in few minutes. So he was breathing rapidly and his grandmother asked, "Why you are breathing so fast?" Then this boy told her that he was running all the way because before the bus comes he want to reach in the bus stop. Then the question arising in his mind that why running makes a person breathe faster. Normally we are breathing every now and then 70 to 72 times we are breathing a healthy persons per minute. But when we are doing some exercises, running, jumping, doing some heavy lifting some objects or climbing the mountain steps, etc., we will breathe fast. So the boy also started thinking, why I was breathing very fast when I was running. So the answer of Bujio's question lies in understanding why we breathe. Breathing is a part of respiration. So this lesson you will study about respiration, which are the types of respiration, why we are doing respiration, how it will take place in animals. In lesson number 2, that is nutrition in animals, you had already studied this year. There all organisms are made up of small microscopic units. The basic units of living organism is called cells. There are two types of organisms, unicellular organism like amoeba, euglena, paramecium, etc., yeast, etc. And the multicellular organisms, we can say all the animals surrounding you, from insects, very small worms, to human beings, whales, elephants, all these are multicellular organisms. So all these organisms, whether it is a unicellular or multicellular organism, the basic unit is called cell. A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. Each cell of an organism performs certain functions such as nutrition, transportation, excretion, and reproduction. Various cells of the identical cells of many cells combine together to form tissues, and two or more tissues combine together forms organs, and two or more organs combine together to do one particular activity. Then they are called organ system. You had already studied respiratory, you had already heard about the word respiratory system, digestive system, already you had studied. Then circulatory system, then reproductive system, excretory system. All these systems consist of various cells and they are doing some particular functions. To perform these functions, the cells need energy. So, any machine or any engine, if they want to work, we have to give fuel, whether it is electricity or petrol or diesel or gas, whatever it is, we have to give the fuel. So, same way in our body, different functions of organ system is needed energy. That energy is getting from a fuel which is called food. We are taking the food, when the food will digest and it will convert into sugar, then that sugar produces energy and that energy is utilizing for the functioning of various organ systems. The food has stored energy. Food contains chemical energy which is released during respiration. So, when the food will be digested and it will be assimilated, and that food will be assimilated food will be taken to various parts of the body along with the blood when the circulatory system will function. So, that will go and reach into the various parts of the body, and inside that different parts of the body, the process of breaking down of food in the cell with release of energy is called cellular respiration. When we are breathing in air, oxygen from the air enters into our lungs through the windpipe and their exchange of gases takes place. And when the pure blood will be carrying oxygen to various parts of the body, along with that it will also carry the digested food in the form of glucose. It will be taken to various parts of our body and there the exchange of gases takes place and the breaking down of this food will be taking place. That is glucose, the simplest form of starch is glucose, that will break down in the presence of oxygen and forms carbon dioxide and water, and during that time a lot of energy is releasing. That energy is utilizing for the activities of the body. We breathe out, during breathing we breathe in air, then this air contains oxygen. We breathe out air which is rich in carbon dioxide. The air we breathe in is transported to all parts of the body and ultimately to each cell. In the cells, the oxygen in the air helps in the breakdown of food. The process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the cells of all living organisms. In the cells, the food or the glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and water using oxygen. You can see on the screen there will be a equation given. Glucose with the help of oxygen, it will convert into carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. In the case of some microscopic organism like yeast that can survive in the absence of air. We cannot survive in the absence of air. But this particular organism like yeast, they can survive in the absence of air. They are called anaerobic. Anaerobics can survive in the absence of air. They get energy through anaerobic respiration. We are all doing aerobic respiration, and these particular organisms, they are taking anaerobic respiration in the absence of oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, the glucose breaks down into alcohol and carbon dioxide. There the equation you can see, glucose will break down into alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Previous one you can see, in the case of aerobic respiration, that is in the case of human beings, natural and other animals, glucose will be in the presence of oxygen converting into carbon dioxide and water, and a lot of energy is releasing. So there are two types of respiration. When breakdown of glucose occurs with the use of oxygen is called aerobic respiration. Food can also be broken down without using oxygen. This process is called anaerobic respiration. Example, yeast. So there are two types of respiration, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. This yeast are single-celled organism. They respire anaerobically, and during this process yield alcohol. So they are therefore used to make wine and beer. So they are using in the beverages, because fermentation takes place because of the alcohol is producing, and the carbon dioxide gas is also coming. That is why it is used in the fermentation process and the beverage factories. Sometimes in our body also anaerobic respiration takes place. Not all the time, sometimes. When it happens and how it happens, our muscle cells can also respire anaerobically, but only for a short time. Normally we are all doing aerobic respiration. The oxygen through the blood, it will reach into the cells, and the digested food also reaching into the, through the blood reaches to the cells, and in the presence of oxygen, this digested food will be, that is glucose, will be disintegrated or break into simpler forms, that is carbon dioxide and water, and energy is releasing. But sometimes in the absence of oxygen or due to the lack of oxygen, some respiration takes place, that is anaerobically, that only for a short period in human beings and all. When there is a temporary deficiency of oxygen during heavy exercise, fast running, cycling, walking many hours, or heavy weight lifting, the demand of energy is high. So when you are running, when you are walking for hours and hours without stopping, when you are carrying heavy weight, especially in the railway station, or climbing the steps with bags and all, you feel so difficulty to breathe, and you are totally tired. During that time, our body needs more and more energy, but the quantity or the amount of energy released due to the breaking down of glucose is limited. So suppose we had taken our breakfast and we were walking or running or cycling or carrying the heavy weight and moving, then our food will be digested, and some particular quantity of food will be digested, and it will be reached into the cells where aerobic respiration takes place, some energy is releasing. But after 2-3 hours, that food will be totally digested and it is already assimilated. No more food will be there. We are tired. During that time, if we are doing excess activity like walking, running, or cycling, jumping, or climbing the steps, etc. So our body needs more energy. That energy is not able to get from the food. Such conditions, how it will overcome? During that time, the supply of oxygen to produce the energy is limited. Then anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. So during that time, suppose we are climbing the steps from the ground floor to 7th floor, continuously we are, if the lift is not working, so we will climb the steps. So naturally we feel so tired and fatigued. So during that time, our muscles need more energy. So during that time, the anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscle cells to fulfill the demand of energy. So there, how the energy is producing, you see the equation. Glucose in the absence of oxygen in the muscles, it will convert into lactic acid plus energy. So there is no carbon dioxide, no water. So only lactic acid is forming in the muscle cells because we are walking or we are lifting with our hands. So hand muscles or leg muscles are moving. If we are running, our whole body muscles will be working fast. So such cases, anaerobic respiration takes place to a certain time. It is for a short period. So such conditions, glucose in the absence of oxygen converted in the muscles into lactic acid and energy. But if this practice will do more time, then what will happen? There will be some difficulty arising in the muscles. So we will get some muscular pain. We will say muscle cramps. If we will do continuous exercise, then especially first day, if you are doing your um, uh, physical exercises, first day, second day, you feel more fatigue and muscular pain. After sports day, many of them taking leave, they are saying, my legs are paining, my whole body is paining. The reason is, all of a sudden you are running, you are doing more exercises, so more energy utilized at that time. Because of anaerobic respiration took place, some lactic acid is formed in the muscles, and that due to that the muscle is filled with this lactic acid, and what happens, it will accumulate in the muscles and forming the cramps or the pain. We get relief from cramps after hot water bath or a massage. If we will take hot water bath or hot water massage, etc., if we will do, or if we will relax for some time, then slowly and slowly that pain will reduce. Because our body, when it will relax and hot water bath we will take or massage we will do, the circulation of blood takes place. More and more circulation of blood takes place, and more oxygenated blood will be reaching in the cells. Slowly and slowly this lactic acid will be converting into carbon dioxide and water, so the pain will be reducing. So as a result, the supply of oxygen to the muscle cells increases. The increased supply of oxygen reduces the complete breakdown of lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. So when we are doing extra exercises or extra walking, running, etc., sometimes this muscle spasm occurs. So generally we are close our nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. So there is one activity given, how you are breathing and what changes you can see. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly and look at a watch. what did you feel after some time? You started, suddenly you will remove your hand, you feel some difficulty, and your face also will change, you can see. How long were you able to keep both mouth and the nostrils will be closed? Note down the time for which you could hold your breath. So just for a fun, you can just close your mouth and nostril and take a watch and see how many seconds or minute you can without removing your hand, you can see very less time only you can see without breathing you can survive. Now you know that you cannot survive for long without breathing. So breathing means making in air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs. The taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body is called inhalation, and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide is called exhalation. So inhalation, one time inhalation takes place, then automatically after some time exhalation also takes place. Both inhalation, that is taking in fresh air, and exhale out carbon dioxide air, together called as respiration or breathing. So students, this today what I had explained about respiration. There are two types of respiration: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in the cells in the presence of oxygen. All the living organisms in the cells only the aerobic respiration takes place, and in the case of some microorganisms like yeast, anaerobic respiration takes place. And in anaerobic respiration, in the absence of oxygen, they produce glucose will disintegrate into alcohol, and energy is releasing. That's why they are using in the beverages to produce beer and other hot drinks, alcohols, etc. And normally the aerobic respiration, glucose will break down into carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy. When we will do extra exercises, cycling or jumping or walking for continuous hours, climbing the staircase, carrying heavy weight for long time, etc., our body needs more energy, but that much energy is not coming out by the degradation or disintegration of glucose. So the energy coming out is limited. So that time we need more and more energy. Such conditions for a short period, this glucose in the absence of oxygen, it will convert into lactic acid and energy is releasing. This process is very short period, and during that time that lactic acid which is produced in the cells will be accumulated in the muscles, and it may cause some muscular pain. We call it as muscle cramps. If we will apply hot water bath or hot water massage, etc., then muscle cramps will come down and it will over, because due to the hot water bath or massage, the blood circulation takes place in the body and the lactic acid will convert into carbon dioxide and water. So this way we can reduce the muscular pains. And what is meant by breathing? Breathing is a process by the taking in of oxygenated air, and it goes into the internal respiratory organs, and when we will breathe out impure air which contains carbon dioxide, that process is called exhalation. Taking in oxygenated air is called inhalation. Both inhalation and exhalation together call it as respiration. So this is today what I had explained. So today I am going to wind up. Remaining part of the chapter I will continue in next video. Till then, you take care and learn properly.